Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesdays with Fran. This is Fran and today we are in Muruzabal, a beautiful village, also in the Camino de Santiago. Welcome to this beautiful evening. Right now here in Spain it is 6 o'clock. As you can see, there's a storm coming in. It's like all of that is rain, so hopefully it will wait until we finish the village, which it should. So as I say, look at the surroundings that we are in. It's a gorgeous place. So we are in Muruzabal, M-U-R-U-Z-A-B-A-L, Muruzabal. A very small village in the Camino de Santiago. It's only 261 people living in here, so really a very small little town. We're only 16 miles south of Pamplona. For the pilgrims that walk the Camino de Santiago, it is one day. Hey William, buen dia, good day. So it is one day from Pamplona all the way to here, and they keep on going a little bit farther. Right? So it is one of the long hikes for the pilgrims. Okay, so really it's a beautiful hike, and that's where we are today in Muruzabal. A lot of people ask me about the altitude, where according to sea level we're at 1,500 feet over sea level, okay, in here. So it's fairly flat, okay, and it's in the middle part of Navarra. Okay? And then what we're gonna see different style of houses, because when we go up into the Pyrenees, the houses are much bigger, stronger. Here they're a little bit smaller. Okay, so that's where we are going to be seeing today. So welcome to the village of Muruzabal. As I said, M-U-R-U-Z-A-B-A-L, Muruzabal. If we talk about a little bit about the history, in the year 1407, the King of Navarre, not kings of Spain, we're talking only kings of Navarre. Hey, hola Jan, how are you doing? So good to see you. The kings of Navarre, Charles III, Carlos III, he gave this village to his brother. Okay. Oh. I love bells. So I was telling you that the king gave this to his brother, and officially it was not 100% of a brother, it was a bastard, his bastard brother Lionel. Okay? I always say that in Middle Ages being a bastard was not a bad thing, because you're not a prince, but your father was a king, your father had sex with your mom, and that gave you a lot of power, and it gave you this beautiful little village. Okay, so being a bastard in Middle Ages was not a bad thing. So it was for his brother Lionel. Okay, a little bit stop here. Take a look at these 3 crosses. If you're a pilgrim in the Camino de Santiago, hola Susana. If you're a pilgrim in the Camino de Santiago, this is the entrance to the village. These beautiful 3 crosses welcoming everybody into the village. Okay, that was peaceful. I love bells, deeply love bells. Anyway, so then a little bit later, in the year 1665, it became an independent villa. I mean, an independent village. Right? It was not anymore under the crown, so they had to pay money, taxes, but they didn't have to. They didn't belong to a king or a bastard brother of a king. Okay. So that was 1665, and then in 1808, when Spain, hola Jorge, it's so good to see you. When the French troops, the Napoleonic troops, came over here, they settled in Muruzabal. But in the year 1812, as guerrilla war, these little battles, from here they started a lot of very big battles against the French. Okay, so that's a little bit of introduction to the history of Muruzabal. About these houses that I have right behind me, as you can see, they are much more humble. They are very normal little houses from the 16th, 17th century, especially this one and that one. Okay, the next one, well, these two. They're from the 16th, 17th century, and they were for the workers. They are very beautiful. Let me turn the camera around so you get to see them, but they are quite normal houses. Okay, they're not like flamboyant. We're gonna see a couple of very important palaces in here. So all of these houses were the houses for the workers. Okay? If I turn around, what we have is a beautiful church of San Vincent, okay? La iglesia de San Vicente. Half of this church is Gothic from the 14th century, 1300s, but it was remodeled on the 16th and 17th centuries, much more modern, Baroque, Renaissance type of style, okay, like totally different, but we still feel and see some of the Gothic structure in the it's not cathedral, sorry, in the church, especially the tower that we see up there. Let me see if I can get a little closer. I'm gonna make a zoom in. Okay, let's see. Okay, can somebody cut the tree? No, please don't cut any trees. Love those trees. Okay, here we go. Look at the tower bell with those arches. Okay, those beautiful, beautiful Gothic arches. Okay, so as we can see, we do have a Gothic church. Okay, the tower is beautiful Gothic with all the decoration and everything, but all of this extra, quite bulky structure, it is from the 1700s. Okay, a little bit more modern. Also here, what we have, it's the cemetery still today, the graveyard of the village. Right? In the middle of the village, they still have the graveyard. This church, it's one of the important churches for the pilgrims. If you're walking, if you're walking the Camino de Santiago, all the pilgrims come over here to have the stamp, okay, the credential, la credencial, that proves that they are pilgrims. So really, for many pilgrims, stopping in Muruzabal, it's one of those beautiful, beautiful stops. Let me show you the entrance, because there are three things I love in architecture. One is stone, wood, and iron. And this gate has the three things together. Let's see if it comes through beautifully on the camera. I'm gonna try to get as close as we can so you get to see the beautiful wood, how old and deteriorated and gorgeous it is. So as an entrance, as you can see, it's quite simple. We have very clear arches. The columns are barely not decorated. We do have these beautiful flowery works in here, okay, representing vineyards. We are in fact in the vineyard area of Navarra, okay, so they're grape leaves. But something I love, as I said, it's the wood and iron work. Let's see if it comes through. Look at this beautiful iron work all along, and with this incredible old, eroded wood by the wind and the rain and everything. I love this mixture of wood, iron, and stone. So, to me, a very simple, very humble entrance to the church, but very, very beautiful. About this church, here in the village of Muruzabal, they have a great tradition. It is done on December 6th, which is the day of St. Nicholas. Okay? So this tradition dates back to the Middle Ages. All the young kids, they come to church and they decide among the kids that one of them is going to be the bishop for that day. So they dress up one of the kids as a bishop with a mitra and the stick for the bishop, the whole thing. And then there are going to be the other two important kids, boys or girls now. Back then it was only the boys. It was going to be the altar boys, okay? And they would come into mass, do the whole thing, the priest would do the mass, and right after mass, the kids would come out of the church and they would ask, they would go house to house, asking for little treats, okay? It could be some couple of coins, could be some chestnuts, or it could be some almonds, something like that. The first house that had to be visited, it was the priest's house, the parish. Okay, so they would go there. The priest would give them a couple of coins and some, I don't know, marzipan or something fun for the kids, and then they would go house by house through all the houses in the village, asking for that little trick or treat. Let's put it that way. Okay. There's one more thing that I think it was very beautiful back then. It was that the kid bishop, he would have a hyssop. Hyssop is what the bishop throws the water to you to bless you. So he would carry one, and in the houses where there were animals, he would bless the animals. He would not bless, the kid would not bless the house or the people living in it, just the animals, which I think it's adorable. Well, with that tradition, they still keep it. Every December the 6th, all the kids from the village, they go to mass and they do that fun thing, and they decide who's gonna be dressed as a bishop, and kids love it. Love it! I love those little traditions. Okay, so I was telling you that at the entrance of the village, we do have all of those peasant, much more down-to-earth houses. Here, what we're gonna find are two magnificent palaces from the 17th century, the end of the 17th century, which is 1600, beginning of the 1700s. Okay, this is a beautiful palace. Here the construction, as we have seen in other villages, most of the construction is done in stone. Here we have the bottom part is stone, the higher part it is constructed in brick, which is much cheaper, and a very traditional thing, especially in Aragon, not here in Navarra. It's this roof. Okay, you see all of those arches. That is very typical from Aragon. So that means that probably the person who constructed, or the construction of this palace, was from the kingdom of Aragon. Back then, the enemy. Ooh. Now we love them. We love Aragon, and in fact, I'm trying to go to Aragon to show you a couple of the things over there. So I love them. Okay, but the other one, the one that I think is the most beautiful building besides church, here in Muruzabal, it's this palace that I have right now behind me. Let me turn the camera around so you get to see it. This is the palace of Muruzabal. Okay, look at that. I mean, let's see if we can get a little perspective. This is the palace of the Marquis of Zabalegi. Okay, it is from the 1700s, and I love the symmetry. I mean, if we could make a line right there, the symmetry, it's perfect. I mean, the slate arrow windows at the bottom, you see they're both at the same place. The window at the bottom, the novel part, which is where the balcony is, and then you have those tiny little windows for the servants where they would live, and then the two guard towers all the way on the top. Unfortunately, this beautiful, magnificent palace, it needs a little bit of repairing. I mean, take a look at, whoop, there's a car coming. Let me squeeze over. Look at that. That beautiful wooden wing or wooden ceiling. It needs a lot of restoration. I get a message, a private message, a WhatsApp from a friend. Hey, can we buy that one? If you have a price, probably you could. But it's, as I said, a beautiful palace. The palace of the Marquis of Zabalegi. By the way, today it is a winery. It's a winery that has, well, this palace has always been a winery, but for recent years, they did restore the winery, and they were doing wine in here. Unfortunately, now the parents, they're quite old, and the kids, they don't live in Muruzabal anymore, so I think they're not doing wine anymore. I've tried to get in touch with them, but I had the telephone of the grandparents, and they didn't pick up the phone to ask them if we could see the palace inside, but they said no, that they couldn't. But if somebody wants to buy that winery, give me a call. And hey, if you're always thinking about trying to have a beautiful winery from the 1600s in Europe, we can give them a call and see what happens. Anyway, my friends, as I said, we're in the Camino de Santiago. So the Camino de Santiago goes through here, and I just want to take you a little bit up that hill so you get to see this incredibly beautiful view that we have here. I love. Well, that is Eunate. Did you go to Santa Maria de Eunate? You go that direction, but nope, we are going to just come all the way to here, and I want to show you the view from up here. Look at that gorgeous landscape. And can you imagine when the pilgrims in the Middle Ages, they would come over here after crossing the Pyrenees, crossing all Europe, and suddenly they would see all of these fertile valleys and beauty. I don't know, it had to be overwhelming. I think they had to feel like, wow, this is a very rich land. And it was an independent kingdom, very modern and very open-minded kingdom, the kingdom of Navarra. So it really was a place to reach. It was, well, it was a beautiful, beautiful place where the pilgrims, they would come together to here and they would be all happy. What else? Talking about the Camino, you all know that I'm doing in October a Camino de Santiago. Yes, we're not walking the whole thing. So if somebody is interested in knowing a little bit about the Camino that I'm going to be doing in October, please get me a message and we'll be able to talk. Okay, my friends, like this video, please share it and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also, I would like you to please subscribe to our newsletter. That way, in the newsletter, you will get all the information on what we're up to today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Susana, seems like such a relaxing spot. It is, Jan. Thank you very much. It's a very, very relaxing, beautiful place, and really, it's an amazing place. Oh, one more thing. I am using for the first time this new listening device, so I guess you have all heard it correctly, and it has worked. Super happy with that. My friends, have a wonderful, wonderful week. On Thursday, the new post is coming out. Wednesday, our new blog podcast is coming out as well in Spanish Loops with Jorge. And on Sunday, I will be cooking curry chicken, which I know it's from India, but it has to do a lot with St. Francis Xavier, the saint I am named after. My friends, have a wonderful week. I will see you on Sunday with Ainhoa cooking. Bye bye, amigos.